So all at sea last week, almost perfect this week. The All Blacks come bouncing back. And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. So 53-3, a huge win for New Zealand against Argentina. A massive turnaround from last week's poor defeat. And what I liked about this game, yep, they bounced back well against South Africa, but that was more of an emotional bounce back. This one strategically was almost perfect and the execution was almost perfect. Argentina just never got into the game. They started badly and it got worse. So for them, massively one to forget. Only 3 points, which is pretty awful to be honest. New Zealand routed them in the end. And my overview before I get into the game is that the strategy was so markedly different. Now, was it just because it was raining, or is this a shift in strategy? And they played kind of like how most international sides have been playing for a couple of years, or trying to play at least, and they executed it perfectly. In the past with Foster, their overall theme seemed to be run the ball, use your skills from almost any situation, and they weren't good enough doing it. They weren't paying enough attention to some of the other areas, and they've really gone back to the kick the ball long if you need to in your own half. Don't overplay it in your own half. I mean, sometimes they went from their own half, but only when they were up. Their set piece, super strong, but that was partly due to the force changes due to the losses. The young front rowers coming in, like De Groot, Takiaho, so good. And then they started playing rugby in the Argentinian half, but also not afraid to mix it up with kicks as they were running, little grubbers in behind, little chips to regather. It's kind of how international rugby has been going. So my big theme is, have the All Blacks caught up? Was it forced upon Foster? Was it Smith's idea? I don't know, let me know below, but that's kind of my view on it. So let's get into this game. Really interesting, and straight away it starts bad for Argentina with many fumbles in the rain. They struggled with their handling in the rain. The All Blacks didn't. Just a couple of errors whole game. Unbelievable stuff. Considering the All Blacks have been fumbling the ball so much, it just must be a change in concentration. So that's an interesting psychological one there. But anyway, no question early on, the All Blacks are taking their points, wanting to build that lead, that sensible play 3-0. But yeah, the fumble's really hurting Argentina. The sensible play starts and continues from the All Blacks, kicking it long in their own half. Set piece. I thought their scrum might have got some penalties early on because they were so dominant, but it just gave them that nudge on, which helped their kicking and their running. So once again, scrum was impeccable and the line out was better this week as well. Then we get the first try. Perfect start for New Zealand continues. And it's the chip in behind for Mo'unga. Just the right pace on it. Really good stuff from him. Regathered. Pace runners onto the ball. And it's big Ethan De Groot sliding over, announcing that he is De Groot. Perfect start. 10-0. That's how you want to do it. And I'm starting to fear for Argentina already, because I did say in my preview, if the All Blacks start fast and get ahead, it's just going to feed into that confidence that has been lacking. Argentina continue to drop the ball in this early stage, just killed them. They couldn't stay with the All Blacks on the scoreboard, and they suffer. They pay for it on 18 minutes. Just a perfect try, I thought. Another kick in behind, but this time a grubber along the floor, so that variation. Love it. Mo'unga there again, getting in behind. Lovely hands from the forwards this time. Kane heavily involved, and Sam Kane was heavily involved in this game all over the place, so a great game for him. For someone who's massively under pressure, what a great game, what a great response. Rico Ioane, who was great all game as well, brilliant in and out run, completely turns Buffelli inside out, who's not the quickest winger, he's there kind of as a big guy kicker. And Caleb Clark, who was lethal on the finish, streams over 17-0. And I'm almost considering the game to be over at this point. I know that would be premature in 18 minutes, but I just didn't feel how Argentina were going to come back in, that scoreboard pressure on them. They're already having to turn down 3 points, which is not how they really wanted to play. And in the conditions, 17-0 up, they probably only really need to be sensible from now on. That's just my thoughts at that point. Argentina are trying to maul their way over, they're trying to muscle their way into the game, but the All Black defence is knocking them back. That maul defence really, really solid, just not getting pushed around. Argentina didn't try a lot else and didn't have a chance to try a lot else. Anyway, Argentina, they're in good positions, they're just not going anywhere, but they do get 3 points. At least they're on the board, and that's how it's going to stay. And then we see the counter-ruck start kicking in for New Zealand. That counter-ruck was lethal this week, where it was poor last week and Argentina did it on them. They were lethal this week, didn't get in trouble with the ref. It looks like it's a try for Takiaho, more big work from the big boys like De Groot. I mean, that front row has been so useful. Lavanini back to his normal self, unfortunately, with a yellow card. TMO does rule out that try, but doesn't stop them scoring from a 5-metre scrum. I love it how Mwanga was taking the ball so flat to the line in this game. Did it well, perfectly puts Ioane through on a flying line. Love that sort of try as a centre. When the scrum's going forward, the 10 can take the ball to the line. You've got a flat option, you've got an out-the-back option. So hard to defend, especially with a man down. But 24-3, I think the game is over. It proved to be honest. It was quite a quiet second half for scores early on. Passing was still good. Set piece was very solid from the All Blacks. They were sensible at the beginning of the second half again. I like that. Taking the 3 points. No need to force it. 27-3. And then that ruck contest again. Getting them back into the game. Getting them really good dividends. But they're not scoring early on, but they're not forcing it. And there on 55 minutes, it's the first time I've written a good spell of possession from Argentina. But they can't score, but they do at least get a yellow card off Newell. And Argentina just getting a bit of momentum. Gonzalez off the bench, who probably would have started, but Cheika was rotating his players, so maybe they suffered a bit for that, I don't know. They go to them more heavily to get back in the game, but yeah, can't get a score. Lavanini nearly grounds the ball, but gets dislodged on grounding, so good maul defence there. And then it's the All Blacks' turn, said, okay, you've had your little spell, we're coming back in the last 20 minutes. It was just destruction, 4 tries in the last 20 minutes. The one on 60 was just a wow moment. They have to put Havili into the scrum, but they actually win a penalty anyway. Jordan Ioane, sorry, someone started mowing the lawn, but I've got to carry on because there's not much time. I've got to take the family out, so apologies for that. And also, I'm not going to be able to do a match report on the Australia-South Africa game, but I'm going to watch it and get back to you on that in my next video. Anyway, let's keep going with the mowing in the background. Anyway, Jordan spots that it could be on, goes on a big arcing run, and they can do this now they're up on the board. Ioane makes a fantastic break, as he can do with that pace at 13, goes up 50 metres up the pitch. Kane again heavily involved, and he's the guy who puts the scoring pass in to Geordie Barrett for a walk-in. It's just beautiful stuff with a man down, 34-3. Then it's just a series of tries, to be honest. Another try with 14 men. Ardi Surveyor gets the try that he deserves, 39-3. They can turn down shots at goal now, so that's the way they've built into the game. The destruction just continues. Argentina, they're not giving up, but they know the game is gone. And then it's really good hands, good hard lines, a good mix there of hands and hard lines. In that pouring rain the whole game, they only dropped it a couple of times. Retallick, with a bit of help from his mates, gets shunted over, 46-3. More great breakdown work, which was so good for them all game. A penalty, one more chance for points. Nice scrum, of course. Good platform. Beauden Barrett using his pace to scoot over. Good impact from the subs bench for him. 53-3. Almost perfect. This was a great performance. Now, the question is, can they keep it at this level? Can they keep their handling at this level? The ruck contest at this level? Scrum and line out were looking great, and I loved the way they sensibly built into the game, but still mixed it up with some handling, some clever chipping. They kicked it long. This is how international rugby has been for a couple of years, and I think it's taken them this long to wake up. Can they keep going like this? Let me know what you think. I mean, game on now. That's 2 wins each for Argentina and New Zealand. Let's see what happens in the next game. But anyway, really enjoyed this one. Pop all the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.